Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Vortie here, and we're going to be taking a look at the True Titan fight. So the thing about the True Titan fight, it is a little bit complicated, misunderstanding fight. So I'm going to talk about the strategy a little bit, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a video of me beating it my way. Obviously my way is a little bit more, I guess you can say, pay to win in the sense where like I'm using my best units, obviously. So I'll tell you the strategy, and then I'll show you what I did, and then later on, when I get a little bit more time, because I'm technically on my way to work or whatever, so I just wanted to make a quick guide to kind of talk to you about it, because it did come out today. Essentially, the way that it works is that the premise here is the things you must do. You have to make sure you're tracking your turns, okay? That's one of the big things. The second big thing here that you want to make sure is that you have a unit that is breaking attack and magic off of Titan at all times. So having a unit that has a break that lasts for at least three turns or something, it's going to be very beneficial for you. And again, make sure you're counting those turns so that you know where you are in the fight, so that you can make the best decisions, alright? And the reason I'm saying that the turns are very important is he uses a move called Landslide every 4 turns, okay? Landslide will actually pick a unit, the one that he's focusing on, and he will kick that unit out of the fight permanently for the rest of the fight. It's like a one-hit KO, death, whatever you want to call it, but your unit still shows a life bar like he's alive, but they're gone. Right? So the way to avoid that is to make sure that you hit or trigger one of his thresholds in order to avoid that. So instead of doing the landslide, he will actually hit his threshold, and then you will get another 4 turns before he does it again, so it resets. Okay? So there is technically 2 thresholds that you really need to be aware of. The first threshold is at 60%. If you get him to 60% on the 4th turn, or whatever turn, right? If you get him on the 4th turn, he will completely reset his turns, and then we'll do it. Then after that, you have another 4 turns. However, if you do it in 2 turns or 1 turn, then you actually didn't reset it. You still only have 3 turns before he uses landslide. So it is in your best interest to make sure that you push him into those rows on those turns, unless you feel confident that you can do it faster. Okay? And the example of that is let's say you, like in my example, you're going to see here, I brought strong units, so essentially I can push him into 60% within the first turn, and then push his second thing, his second tier within the second turn, granting me 2 full turns, well technically more than full 2 turns, to push him the remaining 60% to the end of his life before he does any real damage to me. And the reason why I'm saying I have a lot more room after 60% is because I'm gonna make sure that he picks off the unit I want him to kick off when I want him to kick him off. So he's not gonna pick a unit at random and say bye. No, I'm gonna say you're gonna be picking this person and you're gonna kick him away, because that unit is literally brought just for that component. With that being said, that's kind of the way my fight is going to roll, and you're going to get to see it, and I'll chat about it a little bit more. Alright, so in your scenario, however you're going to be approaching the fight, you start off, count the turns, make sure you push him at 60%. At 60%, you make sure you push him through the whole core fight, where his chest comes out. You have to target the chest individually and destroy Titan's core in order to do that. Now here's the kicker. Make sure that when you do break the core, that your party is fully buffed, or as best buffed as you possibly can with defense and spirit minimum. Once you break his core, he's gonna cast a move called Earthen Fury. That move will do magical damage 7 times multiplier to all units. So if you're not prepared, that could be the end of your fight. So make sure that you're prepared for that, and you'll be okay. If you're fully buffed, you should take about 2,000 to 2,800 damage, and you should be good to go. Now, going into the final stage of the fight, depending on how you got there, if you did the 4-4, you will only have 4 turns to be able to kill him before he does landslide, because you've reset it properly. If you have a unit that has provoke, you can successfully choose which unit he will use landslide on, because landslide is a move that he will target based on the person who has the current hate, which if you do have provoke, that is going to be the unit. So technically you have 8 turns to kill him from 60% to 0. As he gets weaker, he does seem to get stronger, and he does a lot more damage as he's getting as he gets a little bit more into the fight. So the longer you wait, the stronger it's going to become. So make sure that you are fully aware of that. You want to kill him as fast as possible. Okay, so I'm going to show you my fight here, and you guys can enjoy that and let me know what you think. But again, I brought 2 of my personal Orlandos and a friend Orlando to try and chain that. I used one of my Orlandos to do the breaking, and then the rest of the units were literally sitting there. So I can show you a similar party that I have built right now, and I'll show you their gear, and then you guys can go from there. So this is something similar that I brought before, except I didn't have Sakura here. This is a different strategy. That strategy I'll be making a video on later to show you guys an alternative way of being able to defeat them. So everybody here is pretty much the same except Sakura. So you can just envision that my Orlando is there. Snow's job is to counter, to cover, and to counter. Okay? His job is literally to be my landslide whore. If somebody's gonna get landslided, it's going to be him. But in the meantime, while he is fighting and still kicking, his job is to gain limit burst stones as much as he can and summoning stones to make sure that I can get that Esper kill. Rafia's job is to buff my party with Embolden whenever it's down. Make sure that Kuraja is up. That's it. She's gonna make sure that people are stay alive and that their buff is up. My other Orlando, which the one would be here, his job and his primary job is to make sure that he's got his attack and magic break on Titan at all times. If you're bringing Sakura, her job is to bring her defense barrier up at all times. Okay? Cecil's job is to literally, same idea like Snow. If somebody's gonna get landslided, I want to make sure that it's gonna be him, but at this case, his job is to attack as many times as he can to get limit burst stones and the summoning stones, and jump in front of units to cover them. If I do need any healing, he is there for the additional healing, but I want to make sure that he keeps focus up to make sure that my defense and spirit stays nice and strong. My Orlando, which is my big chief here, and my friend Orlando, their job is to bring the unit down in phases and make sure that I'm counting the moves and steps to make sure that I don't get screwed. Okay? That is that. At the end of the video, you will be able to see exactly what my units are wearing. I'm just going to show you quickly here, and then you will see that. The next part of the video, I'm not going to be talking. It's just going to be a quick 6-7 minute fight. It's just a whole process of me doing it. I find that most of the time, if I'm talking during the fight, it becomes like a 30-minute fight. If I just focus and do it, it's a very quick thing. Okay, so that's the gear they're wearing. Those are their tasks, those are their roles, and you get to see exactly how they play out at this. All right, so again, this is not a free-to-play guide. This is just letting you know how the strategy works, and again, based on what I told you, what my units are doing, you can build your party based on that so that they cover those roles. All right, so enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know if you're finding any difficulties or experiencing something or have an idea and say, hey, you know what, this really worked for me, you should try this, Vortie. Let me know. Pardon me. If it's something that I think is viable, I will make a video on it and I'll give you a shout out saying such and such person suggested this and this actually worked. Because the way I like to, because these fights are challenging, I do fight them multiple times throughout the day just to enjoy the actual content and create new ways to be able to defeat it so I can share with people if they do need help. Alright guys, so enjoy the remainder of the video. Let me know what's going on. If you're new, old, hit that like and subscribe button. Stick around for future content. And if there's anything you can suggest, leave it in the comment section below, guys. Alright, enjoy!